driven by vision. And so they are always internally motivated. And that's what separates a leader from a follower. A leader is self-motivated. And that's because they see something that no one else sees. And I want to remind you that in the book that we have, The Spirit of Leadership, make sure you read the last 2 chapters. Because in those chapters I give you some practical specifics about the fulfillment of a vision. Also, the second book I want you to remember is to pick up the book on the power of vision. In that I talk about how to identify your personal vision, how to document it, how to write it, and then I give you a plan to systematically fulfill that vision. It's good for you to use that plan for your department, for your company, for your personal life. You can apply it to anything. So make sure to pick those 2 books up. And of course, those of you registered got that leadership book as a part of your package. But make sure to pick up the Power of Vision book, which is available to you, okay? Can you press this? You can stay awake from me, okay? Everybody say an eagle. Or no bird in the world has a sight like an eagle. An eagle can see in details 5 miles away. That's why the bird is called the visionary bird. And we're going to talk about the power of innovative leadership from the point of the demands of visionary leadership. Everybody says the demands. When you have a vision, it places demands on your life. The demands of visionary leadership. Let's begin with a couple of thoughts. Number 1, the greatest gift that God ever gave man is not the gift of sight, but the gift of vision. Vision is more important than sight, because sight sees things as they are. Vision sees things as they could be. So when you walk into a company and you look at a department that's out of order, or there's low morale, or there's confusion in the management ranks, if your church is in chaos, not growing, people are not getting along, and there's friction, or maybe your country is in chaos, when you look at that, your eyes will show you what is. But here's something to remember. Sight is a function of the eyes. But vision is a function of the heart. You must see that situation not as it is, because your eyes will always depress you. You must see it as it could be. You must have a vision of what you want it to look like. And that leads to my 3rd point. Sight is limited to the capacity of the eyes. But vision is limited only by the boundaries of your imagination. And the gift of imagination is the greatest gift you were ever given by your Creator, because it allows you to live in another world. When your world becomes depressing, go to another one. I do it all the time. That's what vision allows you to do. That's why leaders can live in the midst of chaos and be at peace, because they don't live in the present. The people are in the present. The leader lives in the future. And that's why their energy is transmitted. Their excitement can be transmitted. And when you go into your department this week coming, you've got to get a new vision of the company. Get a new vision of your church or your department or your organization. Because if you keep the vision of the future in front of you, your energy will come back. And remember, leaders are infectious. If you are depressed, the whole company will be depressed. If you are not happy, then that transmits, and you will bring depression on the department. There are 5 major things that leaders must always have. And one of them on the top of the list is energy. Energy. Because if the leader is not energetic, it transmits to the department, to the company. And that's why you must always be healthy. Taking care of your body is important to the whole company. Taking care of your home is important, because if you come to work and you had a bad fight with your family, that transmits to the whole company. A leader must be energetic and always positive. Point number 4, very important. Sight restricts you to the present, but vision releases you to the uncharted course of the future. And that's why vision is the greatest motivator of a leader. That leads to point number 5. Sight captures the present, but vision captures the future. You must take that energy back to your organization. Our association here in the Leadership Network, the reason why we invite you to join us and be a partner with us is because we want you to keep company with visionaries. We have been together for over 20 years because all of us, we have passion for vision. And if you're going to be a visionary, you're like an eagle. You cannot keep company with pigeons. Vision allows you to capture the future. And point number 6, sight deals with what is, but vision embraces what could be. Don't be discouraged by the fact that your bottom line is not looking good. See another bottom line. Don't be discouraged that some of your managers or your co-ministries in the church or your pastors or maybe your supervisors are not producing properly. Have another vision of these people. I found out years ago that people become what you expect of them. Sometimes we are great describers of the present problems rather than the communicators of the future possibility. That's why when one of the supervisors of Jesus Christ failed, he didn't throw him away. He went back and got him. Because he had his expectations of him that were so high that it drew him up to it. He denied him first, but he still told him to come back to the board meeting. Remember? Why? Because what you expect of people, they become. Some of the worst workers in your department right now could become the greatest managers in the organization. And 90% of that depends on your response to them. Some people are sick and they bring their sickness to your job so you can heal them. They need you to help them. I want to remind you what leadership is because I want to show you where vision falls in it. This is our definition of leadership. It's in your book. And leadership is the impact of one's pursuit of a vision more noble than self-preservation. It's a very important definition. Leadership is the impact of one's pursuit of a vision that is more noble than self-preservation. And number 2, visionary leadership is the ability to cause others to see a vision of the future bigger than their private ambitions. Do you know what the greatest job of a CEO is? Or a supervisor or manager is? Your greatest job is to get people to place the company's interests above theirs. And that's a tough job. Because people come to a job with their own private ambitions. They come there for their own reasons. And if the company's vision doesn't line up with their private ambitions, you get low morale, conflict, tardiness, low productivity. So what you want to do is to give them a stake in the vision that makes their private ambition integrated into the company's vision. Relate the company's vision to their private ambition. It's a tough job, but that's what leadership is about. Do you know what's the most difficult kind of leadership in the world? The most difficult leadership in the world is leadership that doesn't pay salaries. Some of y'all think that running the Red Cross is easy. How do you motivate people to do work and they don't get paid material things? Running a church is a hard job. Because you got to motivate 300, 400, 500, maybe 1,000, 2,000 people, and you don't pay them. That means you got to give them something more important than their private ambition. At least if you got a salary to give people, you could bribe them a little bit, If you don't come early, I'll cut your pay kind of thing, How do you get a person to come early and they don't get paid? You see my assistants here, these two gentlemen? They're professionals. This guy is a dentist and this guy is professional administrators. These guys. And they be with me all week. They take the whole week off just to be with me and assist me, eh? So they got their companies back there working, but they're here. They shut down. Why? They have seen a stake in what we're doing that makes their private ambition as important as what I'm doing. Imagine this for a moment. When you pay people a salary, you reduce their loyalty. Which means that giving people money could be a danger. Because now their motivation is reduced to compensation rather than passion. So don't be quick to pay people if they are already motivated to work. There's a paradox. Not one disciple of Jesus Christ was ever paid money. And yet they left their fishing companies and their farms because he gave them a vision more noble than their private ambitions. Write this third point down. Vision and visionary leadership motivates others to submit their energies and skills in a corporate commitment to achieving a noble vision. Let me tell you something. If you get people coming to your job place for money, you better have a lot of it. I challenge you CEOs and managers and pastors and supervisors to go back to your job and sit at your desk and think for a minute, what can I do? How can I communicate the vision of this company, this business, this hotel, this church so well that the people come to it more excited than they go home? That's leadership. That's a tough job, but you got to do that. It's incredible how leadership puts demands on you because the vision is the key. Write this point down. Leadership is the power of influence through character impact. Now that may sound like a simple statement, but the word character is a powerful word here. People will become passionate if you are passionate. Your character impacts people. If you are the supervisor or the pastor or the general manager or the manager, the people are not just watching your work. They're watching how you treat your family from a distance. Your character, your private life impacts your department. Your character inspires or depresses. And so you have to be careful of your own personal, private life. It affects how people respond to you on the job. In my book on the Spirit of Leadership that you have before you, I wrote a statement in it. It's in the first introduction. I want you to read that introduction carefully. I talk a lot about corruption in there. And one of the things I mentioned, you'll find a statement. I wrote this at 3 o'clock in the morning one night. And that is, most people believe that leadership is a role you play rather than a life you live. Leadership is not a role you play. You never stop being a leader. Even when 5 o'clock comes and you knock off from work, you are still, they still watching you. When President Clinton was caught in his immorality, you know what he said to the media? My private life has nothing to do with my public responsibility. And I thought this man must be fired immediately. You can't afford to say those kind of dumb things. Repeat after me. I am always a leader. 24 hours a day. That's right. You are always a leader. Your kids are watching you after you leave the podium. Leadership is a 24-hour job. Matter of fact, when you go home, leadership demands increase. Because everything they heard you tell the people in your department, the kids watching whether you're going to do it. And you pastors, Lord have mercy 10 times. If you want to know how well you're doing as a leader in your company, ask your children. You want to hear them talk? You never come home. I think you're married to that job better than my mom. See, their interpretation is completely different from yours. I read the Bible some years ago and it blew my mind. The Bible says in the book of Ephesians, the book that the first century writer Paul wrote, he says, husband, love your wives like Christ loved the church. And that blew my mind. He never says husbands love the church. He said love your wife like he loves his wife. So you love your wife, he loves his wife. Some husbands are sleeping with his wife. They never go home. There are a lot of pastors committing adultery with his wife. I'll leave that right there. All right. What is leadership? Leadership is what? Out loud. Let's read together. Leadership is the capacity to influence others through inspiration, generated by a passion, motivated by a vision, there it is, birthed by a conviction, produced by a purpose. That means to become a leader, you must have purpose. Then that produces what? Conviction. And that believes to produce what? A vision, which brings what? Passion. And that what? Brings inspiration. And that brings what? Influence. And you become a leader. Leadership is all those things involved. And vision is right in the middle. Now, leadership without vision is a dangerous thing. Write this down. He who leads without a vision is simply taking a walk. They don't know where they're going. Number 2, leadership without vision is activity without meaning. Let me tell you why a lot of people are depressed on your job or in your church or in your department. Let me tell you why. You tell them to come on time, don't take long lunch hours, come into this place on time, put on your uniform, clean your shoes, look good, look happy, treat the customer right, and then the person says, why? Instructions are not enough. You must give them a reason for their instructions, and the instructions should be based on because of this is what we see. You act a certain way because of what we see we want to accomplish. Number 3, leadership without vision is the abuse of human and material resources. It's an abuse of people's skills. If you bring them together and you put all of their energies in a place and they ain't going nowhere. That's why some of the most depressing and unproductive agencies in the world are government departments. Do you know why? Because the government has not provided a vision for those people. So they come to work, and 10 o'clock they start drinking coffee, 11 o'clock they read the papers, 12 o'clock go for lunch, come back at 3, and then plan their way home. Why? We are here and don't know why. No vision. And humans cannot exist without a reason. So they'll find a reason. They start using the company's papers to create their own jobs, use the company's copier to do business. They use the company phone to do a little bit of work on the side. Why? Because they don't know why they're there in the first place. The business doesn't have a vision. Write this down, please. If the blind leads the blind, they all go home at 5:15. It's like falling into a ditch. Why am I here? What am I doing here? Leaders are always the key to the success of an organization. Very important. Here's a point you want to remember. The most important component in leadership is not power, but vision. The most important component in leadership is not power. It's vision. And nothing in the world is worse than having a powerful person who don't know where they're going. Zeal without knowledge is an infection for corruption. Don't know what my power is for. Can destroy people. Vision and the visionary leader. Write this quickly. Vision is the source of true leadership. That's number 1. Number 2, vision creates the leader, and then the leader creates the vision. Someone asked me a question years ago. And the question was, what comes first, the vision or the leader? It took me years to consider that and try and find out what the answer was. And my conclusion is that vision comes first. A leader discovers a vision, and then the vision possesses the leader. The vision exists before the leader. It's always there. You discover something to do. You discover that you were born to build an organization, or to improve something, or to invent something, or to produce something. And then it becomes a possession. It possesses you. It takes over your life. Number 3, the leader possesses the vision, and then the vision possesses the leader. Therefore, leadership without vision is simply management. Now this one is very important. In my book out there on the table, the book is called Becoming a Leader. It's a little smaller book. You should everyone get a copy of that book, please, because it's very important to read the chapter on the difference between a manager and a leader. the difference is very graphic. Give an example. A manager focuses on systems. Write that down. But a leader focuses on people. So a manager always telling us, you know what the policy says? You know what the book says? You know this is the way we do it all the time. This is always the way. No, that's the manager. They can never build the organization. They can run it, but they can't build it. A leader is different. He focuses on people. Developing people, stretching people, training people, giving them motivation, inspiration. See, so if you are in charge of the organization, or if you are the supervisor, or if you are the CEO, your job is not really about systems. That's the manager's job. Your job is about inspiration. It's about vision. It's about motivation. Here's another difference. A manager looks at the bottom line. A leader looks at the horizon. A manager asks, what are we doing? The leader asks, why are we doing this? A manager is concerned about doing things right. A leader is different. She's concerned about doing the right thing. There's a difference. Managers are your typical soldiers. They take orders. Leaders, they're like explorers. Always looking for something new to do. Managers follow a path. Leaders create trails. I don't know who you're sitting next to, but check them out. Every leader should be able to manage, but not every manager is a leader. And nothing is worse for any organization than for it to be ran by a manager. And that includes government. You know, President Clinton was a manager. That's why they were able to manage the budget and get it all worked out. Reagan was not a manager. He was a leader. He had visions of the world in a different way and saw communism in a different way. And he saw the world being, he had this grandiose, he was a visionary. Clinton came in there and cleaned the house, fixed the house, get everything paid off. That's why America went nowhere under Clinton. It became rich, but didn't go anywhere. You see the difference? So you can't really call him a leader if you understand leadership. That's why he had time to have sex. See, when you're a manager and you clean the house, nothing else to do. Anybody with me? Some of you are getting it, right? When you have a vision, you are too busy to have time to have sex. Hey, all the bills paid off, nothing else to do, let's have some party. Okay? Reagan couldn't have sex. Why? He was talking to Gorbachev. Tear that wall down. Change the, move the Iron Curtain. I mean, the guy was in the world, changing the world. Clinton is in the Oval Office, changing his own little world. Can I hear an amen, somebody? Woo! Managers, watch that, managers. Watch that. You got time to do things. All right. To visionary leaders, vision is their reality. Write that down. To visionary leaders, what is their reality? Vision. Now that's a serious statement. See, to the follower, the present environment is their reality. But to a visionary leader, their reality is the vision. So they talk in strange ways. I mean, you know, the ink on the bottom line is red. And the visionary says, we're going to have a great future. And the man said, but we're broke. Yeah. You look at the bottom line, I look at the horizon. We're coming out of this. We're going to do better. Next year is a possibility. We're going to grow stuff and expand stuff. He sees the future, and the manager sees the bottom line. Yeah, we ain't got no money. We got to cut back. You know. And the visionary says, let's add on a piece. The economy is going down. Right, let's build another wing. The visionary says. He lives in another world. And that's why you need visionary leaders. Because if you follow managers, you're going to stay in the history. That's what makes you a leader. A leader is the person who moves the company forward, even in low-income environments. Are you infectious to the positive, or are you depressive in the negative? Well, the company ain't doing too well, and we're going to have to cut some people in a little while, and I hope you all got your other job all lined up, because, we're going to have to lay some of y'all off. Things don't look too good. You don't talk to that if you are the leader in the department. You're supposed to bring hope, not fear. Inspiration, not depression. See, the things are not as well as it could be, but we're going to be okay. And I want you all to work a little harder, because our future is greater than our present situation. And I want you all to, kind of tighten up your bootstraps, and, we're going to tighten up a little things. We're going to cut back on a little bit, but boy, we're going to make it through this. It's only a temporary experience, and our company going to make it through this. That's a leader talking. They must be positively infectious. Write this down. 8 marks of a visionary leader. You don't want to miss this list. Number 1, visionary leaders possess a sense of destiny. They see a destination that motivates their attitude. Number 2, visionary leaders communicate the vision of the future effectively. Visionary leaders are dreamers. And don't let anybody tell you that dreaming is bad. If there wasn't dreamers in the world, we'll all be in caves today. Number 3, visionary leaders transfer ownership of the vision to the followers. That's a very important one. Visionary leaders transfer ownership of the vision to the followers. The emphasis here is ownership. You have to be so effective in your communication that the people call the company their company. The most dangerous statement that your workers or your followers could say to you is this statement: y'all. Y'all. Y'all have problems. Y'all ain't doing too well. Now, they work for you, No, they don't really work for you. They are using you to pay their bills. They must own that vision. And ownership of vision must be done by the leader, by the supervisor, by the manager. Let me tell you something. If you are the CEO or the pastor or the chief supervisor, general manager, let me tell you something. Your number 1 job is to check your managers to see if they are owning the vision. Because companies don't fail because the leader fails. Companies fail because the management team fails. That's a good place to clap, yeah. That's why when Jesus Christ picked his management team, 12 guys, he allowed no negative in that team. And one of his best associates, one day in a staff meeting, lifted his hands and began to disagree with the CEO. Remember that? He actually began to rebuke Jesus. And Jesus didn't wait till he was finished. He turned around and told him, "Get out of the staff meeting now. I don't want to see you." He threw the guy out. Why? You can't afford to have a manager who doesn't believe the vision. Why? Here's why. And this is a secret I'm giving you. Here's a secret. People are not watching the leader. They are watching the managers. Write that down, please. People are not watching the leader. They are observing the managers. And if the managers don't want to do the work, forget the people doing the work. If the manager's not excited, the company won't be excited. If the managers don't promote the dream of the company, the people won't have a dream of the company. So the minute you sense that a manager is not on board, either fire them or refire them. Put the fire back in them. Because if they don't have the vision, the company won't have the vision. Is that clear? Is that clear? So if you are a pastor and your assistant pastors ain't buying into the vision and they don't talk about it in your absence, you need to consider relieving them. And the way you know whether somebody has bought into the vision is what they say in your absence. Remember that. If they repeat you in your absence, if they repeat what you say, then they've bought the vision. I've seen some situations where, as soon as the leader leaves, the manager starts telling the staff, I don't know why we're here anyhow. They don't pay me either, so y'all don't feel bad. See? And they begin to become a virus. And you come back and you wonder why the company is so demoralized. It's because of your managers. What does your assistant pastor say when you leave the pulpit and you are away? What does your supervisor say when you leave the company and go on vacation? Point number 4. Visionary leaders train others to fulfill the vision. You train people to carry out the vision. And number 5, visionary leaders think generationally. Visionary leaders never think about their own times. They think in terms of the future. And that is why a true leader is always training her replacement. His replacement. They're thinking beyond their time. Last night, we presented to you some young men. And of course, there'll be a lot of women among them as well as we grow. And they were the future trustees of this organization that we have here. They're younger than us. Why? We plan to die. And so we're going to have a board of trustees of young people between the age of 20 and 35. And they're going to learn everything we know. Why? Because we ain't stupid. Success without successors is failure. You got to make the vision other people's vision. Transfer it. Let me ask you a question. When you retire, who's your replacement? Number 6, visionary leaders incorporate personal visions in the corporate vision. Not only theirs, but the people's. And that's why it's important for you in these days, when you go back to your workplace, to stop treating your staff as if they don't have a life outside the job. Because their family vision should be as important as the vision of that company. My wife used to work for Shell Motor Company, Shell Oil Company. And that was an amazing company. Matter of fact, my wife didn't want to leave. I had to write her resignation for her. And I gave it to her boss, okay? Because she didn't have to work anymore. Why? She don't need to. She's married to me. Anyhow, that company was a hard company to leave. Let me tell you why. Shell Oil Company made our family their family. At Christmas time, the company would send gifts to all of our kids. The company would send us all kind of stuff, turkey and ham. The company would invite us to all of their events, the whole family to the events. And I'm like, this guy ain't married to my wife. I'm the husband. But you see, the company was treating her family as if the family, matter of fact, they had a term. You are a Shell family. All the workers, the families were called the Shell, you are a Shell family. Which means the whole family was considered a part of the company's business. So if any member of your family was sick or there was an anniversary or something, you would get something from the company. When our wedding anniversary came around, the company sent us flowers. And sent me a gift. I don't work there. So I didn't want her to leave. Do people only work for you? Or does their family work for you as well? Do you care for them beyond the 9-to-5 job? Wouldn't it be wonderful if you learned the birthdays of all your workers' kids and send the kids just a card? they'll be loyal to you. Imagine you tell them it's your anniversary, and every anniversary you send them a card. Send it to the spouse who don't work there. Sharing the vision. It's a corporate vision becoming a personal vision. Loyalty. Loyalty. Do you love the person and their families because they work for you? Or do you only use them from 9 to 5, then dump them and say, make it the best way you can after 5 o'clock? Someone's going through a divorce process. What do you do as a supervisor with them? You say, I know you're going through stress. I want you to take a couple of days off, okay? Get yourself together. You need to kind of sort yourself out. That means you care about them beyond 9 to 5. I know your mother's ailing and you're trying to take care of her at this time. Listen, take the next few days off and take care of your mom, okay? We'll find someone to cover you. Man, that's love beyond the job. Number 7, visionary leaders demonstrate and establish the values, the principles, and the standards that protect the vision. They demonstrate the values and the principles, standards to protect the vision. In other words, the visionary leader lives out the vision. They believe in it so much that they demonstrate it. We left here about 1 a.m. last night, and I went home, had to work until about 3 o'clock this morning. I had to be back here for 7 o'clock for a meeting, which we already had. And I got to go for the rest of the day. That's not special for me. That's what leadership is. Write this down. The world is ruled by tired people. Write that down. See, you want to be the leader? You want to be the manager? Listen, you got to get up earlier and go to bed late. You don't live a normal life if you're going to change the world. You got to live the standards. My television staff and technical people, they got to be here before you and I. So I can't be staggering in here late. I got to be here with them. Do you know why thank you. You know why most people work for people? Because they can't handle what it takes to work for themselves. The demands are too high. So you get to work 9 o'clock, and the guy who owns the company was there from 5. He plays golf at 3. He plays golf at 3 o'clock, and you're mad. You don't understand. He was there 5 o'clock. You come in at 9:02. You're wondering why you work for him, right? Yeah. Number 8, visionary leaders have found something worth living and dying for. And that word dying doesn't necessarily mean you kill yourself. It means you're willing to sacrifice certain things in order to carry out your duties as a leader. Man, I would love to be in bed right now. Love it. But you see, I'm dying to that desire to sleep because I got to come here and serve you. And when you show up here, you don't want me giving you any excuse. Well, I couldn't prepare, because, I was a little sleepy, See, I can't do that. Let me tell you something, and write this down. The worst thing a leader would hear is an excuse. You want to get a leader angry? Give him an excuse. Now, he doesn't mind a reason, but not an excuse. What is the difference between an excuse and a reason? Here it is. A reason is a legitimate condition that you had no control over that disrupted your commitment. An excuse is behavior you could control, but you didn't. I got up late. My alarm didn't go off. The children were just rowdy this morning. The water was off. Well, wait a minute. How many times you went out didn't bathe? The water was cold. Oh, really? You always had hot water? These are excuses. They're not worth even repeating. Leaders don't make excuses. They only have reasons. Leaders don't make excuses. They only have reasons. All right, let me wrap this up. I got a lot more to say, but I'll just wrap it up. I want to encourage you to get the vision book. Write this statement down. Vision is the source of leadership. And now you can see why. Because vision is always taking people to another place. Number two, vision is the purpose for leadership. The reason why you lead is because you got a place to take them. Number three, vision is the energy of leadership. When a leader has a vision, it gives the leader energy in the morning to get up because he's going somewhere. She's going somewhere. It is the vision that feeds the energy to the leader. It motivates her. Number four, vision is the momentum of leadership. What keeps the company in a high gear is when you keep feeding it the vision. Someone in California seminar I was doing some years ago asked me a question. They said, what are the two most important things in leadership? And I thought for a few minutes. Didn't take me long. I said the first one is passion. The other one is revisioning. Revisioning means your job is to keep putting the vision back in the company. Because vision, when you envision something, it inflates the organization. It inspires it. Now, if I blew into a balloon and leave it for a while, what happens? Okay, it goes back down. So I got to come back in and blow it up again. That's what a leader's job is. So January, you got your first meeting for the year and get everybody excited. This year we're going to do this. Everybody get excited in the staff meeting. Staff meeting. Around April, everybody's mad at you. So your job is what? To shut down all the job, take a retreat. Let's talk again. And you blow back into it. Here's why we exist. In 3 months, they're fussing each other and don't like you anymore. You got to shut down the whole company, bring them back together, take them on a retreat, blow back into it. Your job is to inspire. Why? Because they will expire. Got to keep blowing it into it. Boy, the ultimate leader, Jesus Christ, was good at it, huh? The Bible says, and he pulled his disciples aside, and he told them how he would be killed, and he would die, and he would rise again, and he would receive, and then they get excited. Then he'd come back, pull them aside again, and said, okay, I'm going to die. And he keeps reminding them of why he's here. As a leader, you must do that to your company. Number 5, vision is the end of leadership. The means must have an end. The reason why we're doing what we're doing, the leader says, is because we are going this place, to this place. Number 6, vision is the meaning of leadership. You say, why are we here? I have no reason for being here. Here's the reason. It's because we have this vision of a future of the company, the organization, the country. We see this future, and what we're doing is related to where we're going. You give meaning to people's activities. Number 7, vision is the goal of leadership. It's the reason why we're here. Number 8, vision is the heart of leadership. It's where leadership gets its center of gravity. Number 9, vision is the measure of leadership. You measure your success by how much of the vision you are gradually bringing to pass. You're going somewhere. Is it progressing? Can you see your trail? Can you look back and say, we've covered so much and we got more to go? You measure it by your vision. And number 10, very important, vision is the inspiration of leadership. Vision inspires the leader himself and herself. Leadership puts demands on the leader because vision is the key to leadership. And so the little girl sitting on the deck of the ship couldn't see what was going on. And all the people were saying, wow, look at the ocean. And the little girl told her father, I can't see. And he picked her up and put her on his shoulders. What a great story. I like this story. And now the little girl could see on that cruise ship. And she looked at the ocean and the sky. And she says, wow, Dad, look at that. And then she pointed, look. And her father says, what? She said, look, Daddy, look. And he said, what? And he looked and he saw nothing. She said, look at that, Dad. And he said, what? Because all he saw was the sky meeting the water, horizon. And she was so excited. She said, Daddy, look, Daddy, look. And he said, what? And she said, look. He said, what? She said, I could see farther than my eyes could look. That day, a 4-year-old girl defined a vision. Thank you very much. It's good being with you this morning, and welcome to a day of vision. God bless you.